Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yes. Well, welcome. Thanks for having me here. I am going to talk to you about getting more likes, comments, shares, clicks, saves, all of the things on your social media posts. So I own a social media marketing agency called WordCraft. We are headquartered in Yarmouth, but we work with clients across North America. Most of our clients are in CPG, consumer packaged goods. Essentially, if it's a product that you can hold in your hand, we will work with them. And one of the main reasons for that is because we are in Yarmouth, we're far from everything. And so for us to go on location to do shoots, it's very expensive and time consuming. So it's a lot easier if our clients can just send us the products and we take all the photos and videos in our office. So you'll see a lot of examples from some of our clients as I go through this presentation. And feel free to yell out questions, lift up your hand, whatever, throw something at me if you have questions. I love questions. I love the engagement, the back and forth. So stop me at any time. So first, what is social media engagement? Like I mentioned, likes, comments, shares, saves, clicks. Are we still retweeting? I don't know if anyone's still on Twitter, but I certainly am not. So anytime anyone takes an action on your post, that is engagement. So they're not just scrolling by, they're doing something. And so that is the goal for me, because I believe that social media should be social. So we should be doing things, taking actions on social media posts. And how do we measure it? So my specialty is in organic social media. And so with organic social media, there is very little that you can measure, because a lot of it is just kind of left up to chance. You're just posting and hoping and praying that people take action. Well, there is a better strategy, but that's essentially it. Whereas with paid ads on social media, you can control all kinds of things. You can control who sees it and when they see it, and all the journey after they see it and when they click. And with organic social media, you can't really track a whole lot of that. So the main thing that we're tracking is engagement rate, and that is the number of engagements. So the likes, comments, shares, clicks, whatever, relative to the number of people who have seen the post. So the times that it has been seen, where maybe people have taken no action. So you divide the number of engagements by the number of impressions on a post to get a percentage. And anything more than 2% is good, which sounds so low. But that means that 2% of the people who have seen your post have taken some kind of action. We strive for like double digits with our clients. We strive for 10%, and we've had posts that have had upwards of 50% engagement, which is crazy, but it has happened. However, more than 2%, you're doing a good job. So just to show you how that's done, and I apologize if I step out of the frame. So you add up your likes, comments, shares, saves. You divide them by impressions, and then you get a percentage, and that's how you figure out the engagement rate. So if you want to, every month, maybe look back on your posts and see how they're doing. It's a great way to figure out if you're doing all right, especially if you're not doing paid advertisements and you don't have all of that wonderful data that you can track. If you're just doing organic posts, and this is kind of a nice thing to just kind of get a little pulse check on how you're doing. So again, talking about organic versus paid, the big difference is that with your paid ads, like we work with clients that also work with agencies that do their paid ads. We're not just like, you should only do organic. No, they work together. So your paid ads will sell your product or service. Your organic social media is more about building that community, because you're speaking to people who already know about your product or service. So you're not trying to introduce them to something new. You're just trying to engage them. So we look at it as having a conversation with your loyal fans or your loyal customers. And that's really the purpose of organic social. And yeah, the goal is to drive engagement, get some likes, comments, shares. You're not necessarily looking to send people to your e-commerce and to get them to buy, because they're already your customers, they already know about you. So you're really just looking to have some fun conversations with them. So you're really focusing on your existing followers, and you're fostering that brand loyalty, making them like super loyal fans of your brand and your company instead of just selling to them all the time. And that's what I love about social media, the fun stuff. So one way to get engagement is to create what I like to call shareable content. So shareable content is usually when people, if they learned something from you, or if they were entertained by it, if they laughed, if they were surprised by something, then they're more likely to share it because they'll be like, oh, I didn't know this before, I should share it with my followers as well. Or this was super, super useful, I'm gonna share this with my followers. Or this was hilarious, I'm gonna share it with my followers. So create content that teaches, surprises, entertains, is useful. And then stopping the scroll would be with something that grabs your attention. And usually real people grab people's attention rather than stock images. So if you post a photo of Linda from accounting, people are more likely to stop because they're like, oh, I know Linda. And then they'll like it and they'll comment and they'll be like, hey, Linda. Rather than if you just post a stock image of some woman at a desk and say something about administrative people day or something. You should really post photos of your actual people as much as your employees or yourselves don't want to appear in your posts. Those posts will usually be your most engaged with posts out of all, because people love people. Of course, videos are really great. If you can produce videos like you guys, then that's great stuff to post on social media, of course. Still images are really still great, and carousels are really great because, especially on Instagram, if you have the carousels, the slidey kind of posts, they will usually appear in your feed once with the first slide, and then if you haven't engaged with it, you might see that same post appear in your feed again, maybe 3 hours later, or maybe the next day with the second slide as the first one. So you get like 2 chances to engage people with your carousels. So use them, try them, and make sure that your first 2 slides are the most kind of attention-grabby ones. So they have pictures of Linda from accounting, or they have, maybe a few pieces of text on them. Not too much text because that just confuses people and people just keep scrolling. So just a few words, or a really beautiful photo or something that will stop people in their tracks. No. It will naturally appear in people's feeds. If they haven't engaged with it, they'll see the first slide in their feed, and if they haven't done anything, and you'll notice this on your own feed when you're scrolling, if they haven't taken any action, then it will appear in their feed again with the second slide as the first one. It's just an algorithm thing. Yeah. Just Instagram, yeah. But it's a beautiful thing, so use the carousels. Yeah, it's a double chance at engaging people. So you'll notice a lot often on your carousel posts, you'll have higher impressions because people have seen it twice. Not everyone will see it twice, but it's worth trying some carousels. Just on the grid posts. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, on the feed. I've got a few examples. This is a sea cucumber client of ours. So this is one that sort of stops you in your tracks, but is also one of those funny or I didn't know that kind of posts. Did you know that sea cucumbers are heroes who always help out the little guy? They've been known to let small sea creatures take refuge in their anus. Of course, they also help us stay healthy with their powerful punch of antioxidants, amino acids, and other vitamins and minerals. Who knew sea cucumbers were so heroic? So it's funny, it's kind of gross, it's weird, it's surprising. It hits all of the yeah, maybe I will share this, or maybe I'm grossed out and I'm not going to share this, but That's why they're selling the supplements, so you don't have to eat the sea cucumber, you just have to swallow the supplement and get all of those benefits. Here's another one, a tea tip. So tips and things are really great for that shareable content. This is from our client King Cole Tea. Here's a tea tip. Water releases oxygen as it boils. If you boil water for too long, it affects the taste of your tea, making it bitter. Get water just to the point of boiling and boil just enough for your teapot to handle. Your tea will taste better. So there's a little fun fact. And again, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I didn't know that, but I feel like my boyfriend should know that because he boils the tea kettle over and over and over again. Not to call him out, but he's in another country right now, so. And here's an example of posting the people behind the business. So this is an alpaca farm that we work with. We post pictures of alpacas all the time. You can't go wrong posting pictures of cute animals, but when you post the people with the alpacas, you get even more engagement. So this is just, sometimes you just need someone to lift the bowl up to your mouth so you don't strain your neck too much. And that's Barry, and he's the owner of the farm. And so anytime we post him, we get tons of engagement because people are like, oh, I know Barry, and they'll like it. But you know, they also like the posts showing cute, fuzzy animals too. And this is another one of a person behind the business. So this was, he won an award. Again, if you ever win any awards, or if you're featured in the newspaper, or if something exciting happens, do a post about it, and put yourself in it, not just the award or not just the picture of the newspaper. Have a picture of you holding the newspaper, because when you have the people in the picture, you get more engagement. So this one was just like, he won an award, awesome. And there's 155 comments and 265 likes, and it's completely organic. There was no boosted, no ad spend or anything, and it's on Facebook, just proving that Facebook isn't dead, and it depends on who your target audience is and where they spend their time, and that's where you should be posting. So if your target audience is still mainly on Facebook, then don't think that you have to try all of the shiny new social media platforms. Facebook is still awesome, and there's a lot of people on Facebook. We have clients like King Cole Tea, where the target audience is a little bit older, and we can post, almost anything there, and we'll get tons of engagement. So don't knock Facebook. So some more tips for increasing engagement. So make sure you're telling people what you want them to do. That's a call to action. So if you want people to leave a comment or answer a question, then tell them you want them to do that. If you want people to share your post, tell them you want them to share it. Share it with someone who should see this. If you want people to tag someone, tell them to tag someone. If you want people to click a link, tell them to click the link. And only use one call to action per post, because if you have 2 calls to action, then people get confused and they have no idea what to do and they do nothing. So keep it to 1 call to action. I usually encourage people to have their call to action up in the top of the caption or on the image in the video, somewhere where people will see it, rather than having a long preamble and then a call to action at the bottom where no one's going to see it. Maybe a few people. Your mom, who reads the entire caption, will see it, and she'll leave a comment, but not everyone's people's attention spans are so short, so make sure you have your call to action really up top. Ask questions, use polls. A lot of these social media platforms have these tools like polls, and like on Instagram stories, there's all kinds of little engagement tools that you can use. Those are there for a reason. They want you to use them, so use them. Put a little slidey thing or put a poll. LinkedIn has polls. Facebook groups have polls. Polls are great. They're an engagement tool. So try all kinds of different types of content, different approaches, and then always look back and see what worked and what didn't. We always reevaluate each month. We look back at the previous month to see what worked and what didn't, and that helps us figure out how we're going to move forward. And respond to comments and DMs. If you get a comment, even someone who's just like, yay, or puts a heart emoji, answer it. Answer it with whatever. Maybe you're just answering it with an emoji too, but answer it. Treat your comments as if they were personal interactions. So if someone came to your storefront and they said, hey, this is awesome, you would answer them. You wouldn't just ignore them. So answer your comments and DMs. Just don't answer spam, obviously. Don't answer trolls if you have them. Trolls are different from just people who complain. If there's someone who has a complaint, answer them, always. But if they're trolls who are just kind of there, if they've been commenting on everything that you post for months and they only have bad things to do, then you don't have to answer them after a certain point. We usually try a few times, and then if they just become trolls, then we just ignore them, because you don't want to poke the bear. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Some of the questions here, so everybody online can partake. So the question was, can you block those trolls?
People. So one great thing about Facebook is there's a hide button. So you can hide if you have like a troll who's always commenting and kind of saying the same thing every time, and there's nothing you've tried to, you've tried to resolve whatever issue they have, and it's out of your control. They're just being a terrible person. Then you can hide their comments, which is really great, because then they can still see them, because they'll go back to see if you deleted it. They can still see it, but everyone else can't see it. So that's really cool, but that's only on Facebook. I wish every social media platform had the hide button. We usually have like a code of conduct, sort of just a little, sort of a page-long outlining what we do tolerate and what we don't tolerate on our social media platforms, and we provide that to our clients. They usually post it on their website somewhere. So if someone's if they're posting hate speech or, I don't know, something, then we usually say, we have a code of conduct, here's the link to it. If you keep doing this, we'll block you. We usually give people one warning, and then we block them. So that's another approach. But yeah, you have complete control over your social media channels, and you can block whoever you want. Sometimes the trolls will just then creating new accounts so they can keep trolling you, and then you keep blocking them. I don't know. It's fun. Social media. Woo! All right, a few examples of just the different engagement approaches that I just talked about. So this is our client Fatso Peanut Butter, and this was a poll that we did. We can't decide on our new limited edition flavor. Which one would you choose? And we gave people the choices of chocolate, cinnamon, and honey. Spoiler, cinnamon won, and it will be in stores soon. But that was fun. It got tons of engagement. People love giving their opinions. So if you create a post where you're asking for people's opinions, you'll probably get a lot of engagement, because people love to give their opinions. This is one that was kind of fun. We did a post for our oyster client for Halloween, change the name of a horror movie title, but substitute a word with oyster. And there were so many comments. People had so much fun with that. I don't know anything about movies. I have more fingers than movies that I've seen, but you can imagine all the different answers, especially if you know something about horror movies. I didn't create this post. One of my staff members did, who knows something about movies. This was one. Sometimes the simplest posts get the most engagement. So what's your favorite kind of pie to have with a cup of tea? Simple question. You don't need to read a whole bunch of text in order to see the question. Everyone knows what to do. There's one call to action. It's easy, and 93 people told us what their favorite kind of pie was to have with their cup of tea. So sometimes that's all you need. And this was on Facebook, where King Cole's audience hangs out a lot. And we had a lot of fun there, where we were in the comments, answering people and saying, oh, invite us over to your house, and all that stuff. So we really have fun getting in the comments and having conversations with people, even if it's just about their favorite kind of pie. Content variety. So I encourage you to try as many different kinds of posts, as many different approaches as you can. And again, look back and see what's working and what's not. So these are just a few ideas. Behind the scenes tours are really great. People love getting a peek at something that they don't normally see. If you can treat them to, like, you have a museum and you have archives that people don't normally see, and you have all kinds of artifacts in there. Give them a tour of some of these things. Employee profiles, again, people, Linda in accounting. User-generated content is really great. If people are taking photos or creating posts and they're tagging you because they were at your business, or they're eating your product, or they've been to your campground, and they've tagged you, and then you repost that. That was content that you didn't have to create, which is awesome, and they feel special because you used it. And so it's a win-win for everyone. I caution you, this question came up at a presentation that I did recently where someone said, oh, can the people who are creating the user-generated content, can they then sue you if you use it? And I was like, no, you're just sharing it. Like, you're sharing it to your stories, or you're retweeting it, or whatever. But they were talking about downloading the content and then using it in an ad campaign without crediting the person who had taken the photo. Then you're getting in trouble. Don't do that. Don't do that. If it's just share it. Or if you then do a post like later on, get people's permission to use their photos. If you're using their photos on your website, get their permission or pay them for it. But if they're posting something and they're tagging you and then you share it to your stories, you don't have to worry about anything. It's all good. It's all good. Throwbacks are another good thing. We find, especially on Facebook, everyone loves a throwback, and it doesn't have to be like 300 years ago, 100 years ago. It can be like 5 years ago, this is what we were doing, or last year at this time, this is what we were doing. Throwbacks are really fun. Contests, I have so much that I could say about contests, and I don't know how we're doing on time, but my little brief talk about contests. Maybe the next slide is yes. Okay, let's just talk about contests really quickly. There's nothing that I hate more than seeing one of those contest posts where they're like, share, and tag a friend to enter. It's the most useless use of a contest post. And also super annoying. Who wants to tag people in the comments? I don't want to be tagged, and I don't want to tag other people. It's annoying. Use your contests as an opportunity to do some free market research and ask a question that you really want to find out about from your customers. Get people to answer the comment in the comments, or get people to answer the question in the comments, and every answer is an entry. Then you're getting market research, and people are not annoyed because they love giving their opinion. So they're answering your question, they're giving their opinion. They don't have to tag people, they don't have to share things. Sure, they might not get as much reach as those share, tag, whatever contests, but you're getting so much more value, and you're having a conversation with your people, and they feel like you value their opinion. It's a win-win in every way, I think. So that's the kind of contest that we do. This is one that we did for Manulife Bank. What's the first thing you ever bought with your own money? Again, the questions at the top. People know what to do. Let us know and follow us before blah, blah, blah. We've got the rules there. And we've got in the image, comment for a chance to win one of 5 prizes of $200. We've got 547 comments. There's no boosting. It's all organic. And those are the types of posts that we get 50% engagement on. Yeah.
Just the rules and regulations across the platform. So what's the rules and regulations? Because don't you have to have it clearly outlined and like...
Yeah, so one of the main rule, so you have to abide by whatever provincial laws exist. Running contests in Quebec is really complicated, but most of the other provinces are pretty straightforward. You need to have this line that says this is in no way sponsored, administrated, something by Facebook or Instagram in your rules. Because they're a bank, we had 10 pages of rules. You don't need to go to that extent. I'll show you an example here. This is one that we did for Scotia. So all we have is just to enter, make sure you're following us. The winner will be chosen at this time. You have to say when you're choosing the winner and how it will be announced via our story at 1 p.m. Atlantic time. You have to say who it's open to residents of Canada except Quebec because their Régie des Alcools and whatever is super complicated, over 19 years of age. This promotion is in no way sponsored, endorsed, administered, or by or associated with Facebook or Instagram. You have to have that line somewhere in it, whether it's in your long rules or your short rules. With this one, we didn't have long rules, but this was fun again. It was just a question that we asked, if you could hotbox any Nova Scotian landmark, which one would you choose? So we have a lot of fun with some of these. When we came up with this idea, we weren't sure if we could actually do it, but the client loved it. So, and you can see that I answered Rita's Tea Room because no one else said Rita's Tea Room. And so I felt like it should be there. So that's what I have to say about contests. I have strong opinions. Yeah. That's a good point, yeah. You can, there's a wonderful website called exportcomments.com, and you put the link to your post, and you can export the comments into an Excel spreadsheet, and then you can just choose a winner that way. So that's how we choose winners, because everyone has commented, so it's super easy. Shares, yeah, I don't know how you track who has shared your posts. You can track the tags, but yeah, it's... No.
So the comment was, you can't see who's liked and shared that way, so there might be other ways that are better trackable.
Again, that's why I like the comment-based contest. Yeah. Yes, and yes. So the question was where to get that verbiage. So if you Google Facebook contest rules or Facebook promotion rules, Instagram promotion rules, they have a website that lays out what you need to have in there. A couple of the stipulations are you can't ask people to tag other people in your comments in order to enter a contest. So technically those tagging and sharing on their personal timeline go against Facebook and Instagram's contest rules. So, you're like, I haven't heard of a whole lot of people losing their accounts because they ran those kinds of contests, but you're risking, if you're risk averse like I am, then you might not want to do that. The comment-based contest, fully compliant. Like, you're not gonna get in any hot water with Meta. Whereas those tagging and sharing contests are technically illegal. Another reason not to do them. They're annoying and illegal. Couple more examples. Throwback. So this is one that we just did at the end of February. I had no idea that this would, and sometimes you just have no idea what kind of reaction you'll get. So it was just drop a woo in the comments if you've been using Fancy Molasses since it looked like this. And that was for National Retro Day. And when I took this screenshot last week, there were 365 comments of people telling us how long they've been eating molasses. And we spend tons of time making these beautiful videos of making cinnamon rolls with molasses and making, a cup of chai tea with the maple and molasses new product in the baking aisle. And they don't get anywhere near the engagement that this stupid post got. So you never know. People love a throwback, especially on Facebook. And their call to action was simple. Like, people know what to do, and they did it. And I think that's the end of my presentation. Very anticlimactic ending.
All right, thanks.
I'm
Thanks,
happy
Ingrid.
to
Well,
take questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Any questions here? Yep.
Yeah.
I have two. So the first one, those post examples were fantastic, and when we're looking for inspiration on certain kinds of posts, those are kind of what we're looking for, because like
Awesome.
your CTA is very clear. Do you have these anywhere, like on your website, as like a case study that we could refer to?
That'd be a great idea. I love that. We have a few case studies on our website, but we don't have like the full example. But that's a great idea. We should do that.
My other question is when we have our posts, we have our different content pillars, and one of them is a little bit more of like behind the scenes, good feelings kind of thing. We target those to be more of like a give instead of an ask, but we do like to have an opportunity if somebody's looking to work with us. So we put the CTA usually at the bottom of a larger caption that kind of tells the story of that. Would you recommend that we keep doing that to keep the good vibes of the post, or should we put that more near the beginning? Because I don't want it to look like, here's a great video, but give me your money kind of thing.
Yeah. Are you doing paid ads also?
We've been boosting our higher engagement videos, and those have mostly just been, I call them showcases, where it's basically like 3 clips that are cool looking of a day on our shoots.
Yeah. I think your instincts are good. I would say if the goal of the post is really to show the good vibes and the behind the scenes stuff, and you're just like, and by the way, if you want to work with us, then here's the cell at the bottom. I think that's okay, and I think there is also room for maybe paid ads or your boosted posts where the call to action is a little bit higher, where the goal is really like, hey, you want to work with us, this is how you get in touch with us, and here's an example of some of the work that we've done. So yeah, I think you can do a little bit of both.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I never told them, like, I was going to take it after you.
Okay.
So I've been noticing with like a lot of social media platforms and content agencies that they love using emojis. And I'm finding it's like, why do you have an emoji for every single line? I find it overwhelming, because I like how you guys have like 1, maybe 2. Yeah. Why do people feel the need to just like emoji throw up on all their posts?
Yeah, there was a study that had come out several years ago that said that emojis boost engagement. So I think people took it and then just were like, yes, let's do emojis. And and then people got really tired of it. Not only that, so we try to use 1 per post, sometimes 2, like you mentioned. And one of the reasons, not only are they annoying, but screen readers, if people are using screen readers, have you ever heard what emojis sound like on screen readers? It is baffling, and it's like, it would make you stop looking at a post right away. It's crazy. So that's why we went to a talk by someone who talked about accessibility on social media, and she put a post with a lot of emojis into her screen reader. And you hear that once, and you never want to do that again. So that's why we limited it to usually 1 emoji per post, and usually a simple emoji. So yeah.
I'm very glad I'm not alone in feeling like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh yeah.
ChatGPT loves emojis too. Yeah.
ChatGPT does love emojis and M dashes.
Got time for one more question? Yeah.
Just on the accessibility front, you obviously don't write image descriptions every single time. Like, how are you deciding when to make them accessible, when not, and all that?
I'm ashamed to say that we do not write image descriptions all the time. We do them for our clients that require it, like banks and things like that, the ones that need to be AOTA compliant. But we probably should be writing them for everyone. We usually, if we do, we don't put it in the caption, we put it in the image. There's like, You can, in the platform itself, the social media platform itself, you can usually put an image description in the image so that the screen readers can get it. But the different platforms also will auto-generate a description, so that's why we don't do it for everyone. But we do it for like Manulife Bank and RBC that require it for their posts for compliance.
Thank you very much, Ingrid.
You're very
Thanks
welcome.
for making the trek here.
Thank you.
Great presentation.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.